Good evening, everybody. This is Tenacious Earl, and we're coming at you with another Tenacious Baseball League version 2.0 game. This game will close out the series between the New York Mets and the San Diego Padres. The Padres have surprisingly taken the first two games of the series. The Mets were looking pretty golden coming into this series. They would have thought to themselves, maybe we can get a sweep out of this. Instead, they're going to be scrapping here for the final game just to salvage one before they head out to their next series, which would be against the Yankees, a Subway Series. We also had one of those to begin the season, but this one will be at Yankee Stadium, so they'd like to get a game before they go into Yankee Stadium and try to win and beat the Bronx Bombers. I'll talk a little bit about them after a while. I want to get started with the game here. So the Mets, Lucas Duda injured, Michael Conforto injured, Jim Henderson injured. So they have a couple fielders and a relief pitcher on the shelf right now. Duda was injured last game. Excuse me, boy, I just had some phlegm coming here. They're going to try not to go with calling a guy up because it was only for one game. Just sort of a day-to-day thing. So, here we go. It'll be Bartolo Colon pitching for the Mets, the ageless wonder, against Colin Ray for the Padres. For the Mets, the starting lineup, David Wright at third, Neil Walker at second, Wilmer Flores at first, Yoenis Cespedes in left, Juan Lagares in center, Asdrubal Cabrera shortstop, Travis d'Arnaud catching, Curtis Granderson in right, moved down to the bottom of the order since he's been struggling a bit. And obviously Bartolo will be rounding out the lineup pitching. So we're going to start here against Colin Ray. And I want to get the chat window up here. And I also want to give you an idea of what Colin Ray's numbers are at the moment. So he's 0-2 with an 8.38 ERA. So the Mets, they should have a good chance of possibly taking a game here. Hey, Tribe fan. So Ray is a righty, and it'll be David Wright leading off. Hi, Derek. And that's a 2-6. And that is a strikeout plus an injury. So we immediately get an injury in this game. Let's roll this real quick for Wright here. See what happens. 1, 2, 3 stays in the game. 4, 5, 6 he's injured, and then we just do the injury roll. And it's a 1, so he can stay in the game. And it's a 20. It's going to be a pretty significant injury, which is that lines up pretty well to real life. So let's see. Bad or injury. He has no limits, and that is going to be a 60-game injury. And that's basically, his season's going to be over right here. So, already somewhat behind the 8 ball with having a lack of fielders. They're going to have to make amends. I got this all set up here, so we will go with that. But that's bad news for the Mets here. So with 1 out, Neil Walker. Let me get, but I mean that's kind of what you would expect out of this. You know, you're going to get an injury for Wright at some point on that 6 roll. 3, 7, and that's a fly ball to center field. Caught by John Jay for the 2nd out. Wilmer Flores. Flores hitting 350. And it's a 5-4 against a righty. Fly ball to center field. Jay, another chance here. 3-2 and a 20 and a 16. Where are my charts? Here they are. Outfield. The 20, he's going to get to that one. It's the E2 and a 16. And a 16 on an E2 is a 2-base error. And so Wilmer Flores is going to go all the way to second base on an E8. John Jay has a bit of a trouble time with that one, and it's going to be Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes hitting .405. And it's a 3-7. But that's going to be a ground ball back to Ray. And Ray will make the out for the third out. And now we will have to do a little bit of juggling here. Matt Reynolds is going to come in and play third base, bottom of the first. That was a 7, unless you were talking about something else. 3E24 and a 13. So he will go in the leadoff spot. All right. So for San Diego, a little bit of tidy up work right there we needed to do just to get things together. John Jay will be the leadoff hitter for the Padres. Melvin Upton Jr. in left. Yangervis Solarte batting third, playing third. And let me clean that up. Matt Kemp in right, cleaning up. Will Myers at first. Derek Norris catching. Jamal Weeks second base. Ramos Ramirez shortstop. And Colin Ray will be the pitcher. And here's John Jay against, not Colin Ray, Bartolo Colon. That would help. Against a righty. And a 6-5 against a lefty. That's a ground ball to short. Tough play for Cabrera. 3E8. And 3E8, I think he will. E8 and a 7 should be just fine. Yep. Okay. 1 out. Oh, LA sure rolled a 1 on the... Oh, I see what you're saying, Derek. Now I get you. Must be they scored a bunch of runs or something. Melvin Upton Jr. 1 goes way off of there. 1-4. And that's going to be a potential double. Probably a single. It's a 19. So the first hit for the Padres. Colon and Darno will be a -2 holding. So they're going to hold Upton. It'll be a 1-15 chance. Oh, sunny and over 100 degrees for the Dodgers. He's going to try to get a lead. He needs a 4, 5, or 6. When you total him up, and he gets a 5. So he's got a run now. 1-15. He'll take second base. It's a 10. If you can see that. So Solarte with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. And everything went way off the page. I apologize for that. 5-2. He's batting from the left side. And he's going to walk. Sets up a force. At first, second, or third. Matt Kemp. He had 2 home runs last game to thwart the Mets. And a 1-5. And he strikes out this time. 2 outs, Will Myers. Love to rake in a run or 2 here. It's a 3-7. But he's going to ground it to short. And Cabrera will end the inning like he started the inning. With a 6-3, no runs, 1 hit. We'll go to the top of the second. Hope the resolution is good for these cards. Juan Lagares, 210. And that's going to be a pop-out. It's going to be caught by Weeks. And that'll be 1 out as Drupal Cabrera. 5-7. Batting from the left side. And he strikes out. 2 down. Travis d'Arnaud. And a 6'12". Fortunately for Ray, he's a 6'10" kind of guy. But 6'12" against a righty, and that's going to be a ground ball to third. And Solarte throws across the diamond for the final out. 1, 2, 3 here at the top of the second. We're going to go to the bottom. It'll be Norris, Weeks, and Ramirez up for the Padres. I'm going to hit refresh here. It's Derek Norris now. Against a righty, 5'7", and he strikes out. Hopefully you can see that. The shadow's not casting anything over. Jemile Weeks only has a few at bats left. Another 5'7". Nice solid roll there. He's batting from the left, but it's still a strikeout. 3 so far for Cologne. Father Time bringing the gas, and a 3-2. And that's going to be a line out to third at the new guy, Matt Reynolds, eats up. And 1, 2, 3 for both teams there in the second. We're going to go to the third. No score. Ooh. Yeah, those line drives right off the old... what is that called? I used to know what those muscles were called. Quadricep, maybe? That's not fun. Granderson, 311. That's a fly ball to right field, and that's the first out. Be the pitcher now, Cologne, who's nothing to sneeze at except against a righty. But as you can see, he gets hold of one every once in a while against lefties. And a 3-12, he strikes out. And Matt Reynolds, with nobody on and 2 out, his first appearance, coming in for the injured David Wright. That looked like a very serious injury. And uh-oh, Matt Reynolds gets a hold of this one, 1-10, a home run. But it is an 11, and that does not give them a second chance with the robber. That's just a double. It's one of those phrases from the Battle of the Earls that will always stick in my mind. So Neil Walker, he has a chance to single somebody home here. 2 outs. And they are holding Reynolds on. 5-6, batting from the left side. And it's a ground ball to second, and Ray gets him to ground out to Weeks. And again, Mets are kind of snake-bitten, having a tough time stringing together hits. Nothing, bottom of the third. Trying to decide, another day goes by here, I might decide to say that with 2 outs and runners at second or third are definitely not held on. And I just dropped the die. Okay. Just a second, I gotta sit back down here. I feel like I'm under more control when I'm sitting down. I don't have the dice flying all over the place. So it'll be Ray leading off. Pitcher's hitting card number 1 for him. And it's a 1-6, and he will strike out. Not a surprise there. John Jay 0 for 1. And that's a 4-5 against a lefty, and it's a ground ball to first, if you can see that. The play will be made by Wilmer Flores, who's there in place of Duda, who is taking a day off for injury, and Melvin Upton Jr. 4-2 against a righty, and it's a ground ball to short. Cabrera to Flores to the dugout. No score. somewhat a snooze fest so far, but you never know when it's really going to start popping. So it's all right. Top of the fourth, Flores leading off. He reached on a 2-base error. And a 2-8. Draws a walk. So these are new dice. I think I might have mentioned in a previous video, but these guys, they're not quite as shiny, and they have sharper edges than the other ones I was using. So as you can see, kind of give them a good turn, and they just sort of like flop out there and don't do a whole lot of rolling. So, which is pretty nice. So let's see, Flores, not much of a base stealer. Cespedes will come up. I think it'll always be a problem with the D20, but so Cespedes, and that's a 4-3 against a righty. Ground ball back to Ray. 5-0. And a 20. I think that's going to be a double play ball. That is the only roll, the 20. It's the only roll to get you G1. And the E0 means it is going to be a 1-4-3 twin killing. And with 2 outs, it'll be Juan Lagares, and the base is clear. Oh. Oh, there you are. Goodness. So much for being under control, eh? Give this guy another shake. There you go. 5-5 against a righty, and that's a walk. Second walk issued by Colin Ray, and it's going to bring up Asdrubal Cabrera. Lagares, let's see, what did we say? So Norris is +1, Ray is +9. So yeah, Lagares is definitely going to try to get a lead here. Gets a 4, which he needed 2 to 7, so he'll get the lead. +5, the hold makes it a 20, and then -2, so 1 to 18 chance. And he just barely gets in there. Lucky it was that. Boy. So Cabrera with a chance to score him from second, maybe. And it's a 3-10. The 3 column is what they needed. Ballpark home run. Batting from the left side. It's average conditions here at Petco Park. 1 to 5 is necessary for the home run, though. So 1 to 5. It'll be gone, and Mets will take a 2-0 lead. Above a 5, and it'll be the 3rd out. And it's a 2. It is gone. Cabrera gets into it, and I swear I was shaking it. I know it didn't have a great roll on it, but I was shaking it up. 2-0 Mets, as with 2 outs, they generate the base runner, and Cabrera puts it out of the park. So now his base is clear. Travis d'Arnaud, and a 6-8 against a righty. And that's going to be a fly ball to center, and that will end the inning as Jay pulls that one in. But 2 runs for the Mets on the big bomb from Asdrubal Cabrera. And so now the Padres have some work to do. Yannervis Solarte drew a walk back in the first. 3-2. And it's going to be a ground ball to short. Cabrera up with it. Throws to first. Matt Kemp. Against a righty, 4-9. And that'll be a 1-out base hit. It's a 10. Be a single. Actually, Will Myers now. Kemp rarely steals. Maybe we'll give it a shot with 2 outs. And that's a 5-6 against a righty. Ground ball to third base. 5-4-3. Mets clear it and end the inning. So through 4, it's 2-0. Metropolitan's on top. Mets fans should be happy. Their team finally has got a couple runs here. I mean, they did get some runs in the last game, but San Diego came through. We'll see if that happens here again. Granderson leading off the fifth for 7 against a lefty. 1-6 is a single. No, 1-8 is a single. My eyes are... It's a 10. That'll be a line out to second. Have I ever thought about it? You betcha I have. I just don't have the... I don't have all the funds to do it. 1-6 strikeout for Cologne. 2 outs. And I don't have the funds, and I almost don't have the time either, which is... I mean, I've read some different things about 1-9's a strikeout for Matt Reynolds, and he can't follow up the double with anything other than a strikeout. So we're going to go to the bottom of the fifth. Still 2-0 Mets. Yeah, it's a matter of time and money, just like anything in life. I'd be golfing all the time if, kind of like Larry Harris, what he might... Well, he wouldn't be doing it now. It's probably dark, but too dark for that. But, you know, that would be my vocation right now. Not vocation, my hobby. So Cologne against Derek Norris here. Derek Norris struck out back in the second. 2-8. And he's going to strike out again. That's the 5th strikeout for Bartolo Colon. Jamile Weeks, also a punch-out victim. And that's another strikeout. Another 5-7. Alexei Ramirez. That's a 4-11 against a righty. Ground ball to third, and 1-2-3. Bartolo's looking strong out here at Petco Park. I think he's finally... They finally got acclimated to the West Coast. You either have freedom or the money to enjoy it. Rarely both. Yeah, and you know, it's also the cost of deciding to have kids and all that good stuff. But I would love to get it, and maybe I will get my hands on it here one of these days. Neil Walker. So Colin Ray. So this is what, the top of the 6th. Colin Ray is up in the bottom of the 6th. And San Diego, they're going to get Kevin Quackenbush warming up. Probably going to take Ray out bottom of the inning, if not sooner, if he can get through. 5-5 against a lefty, strikes out. The 5th was his inning of weakness, but he went 1-2-3, so he's still fine to keep going. Wilmer Flores. 5-6 against a righty, and that's a ground ball to Alexei Ramirez. He throws to first, and that's 2 down. Yoenis Cespedes. And a 6-4 against a righty. That's a ground ball to Ramirez. 4E22. Not great numbers. 4 and a 13. I think he will get to that. And the 9 on the E22 is the real question. And he makes the play. So Ray pitching well, but with a 2-run deficit right now. They are thinking they need to move things along here. The Padres do. So they are going to pinch hit for Ray here. They're going to use Alexei Amarista. So Kyle shoots real quick while I'm getting things together here, wondering about extra players. He started his season, wonder if it's worth it, and I think if you're new, it isn't necessary, but if you've got the funds available, it is worth the price you pay to get them. But if you're just kind of getting your feet wet and trying to learn everything, I wouldn't sweat it too much if you don't have them. You can do a project without them. You just might have to get a little bit on the creative side, as far as like looking for similar players, substituting them in, or just kind of going with best lineups, things like that. If you're doing a replay, it's probably good to have the extra players, so that way you have a bunch of them. So against Cologne here, it's going to be a 1-9 for Alexei Amarista, and he's going to get a single. So leadoff single, and that's going to be it for Colin Ray. He goes 6 innings. But it's not completely necessary. You can have a load of fun with only the cards provided. Now let's see, Cologne -4. We already talked about this. It's a -2 chance. They're going to hit and run here with 1 on and nobody out. It's going to pull a hit and run. It's going to be a B because they're holding Amarista on. And it's going to be a 6-4, so that goes off of the pitcher's card. The hit and run may or may not be of any use. Ground ball to short. It's going to be Cabrera, 3E8. I love hit and run, but it doesn't work that often. So the 3 and an 8. Now let's see. John Jay, a lefty. That means that because they're holding them on, Cabrera is going to actually be a 4E8. And a 4 and an 8. And holding him on means it's going to be a single 2-star. So that will... Let's see, a 7 on the E8. That's not going to be an issue. But that is a single with 2 stars. The hashtags, as you can see here, holding the runner on, 4 and an 8. You get a G3 with the old pound sign, and that is a hit. So first and third, nobody out. Melvin Upton Jr. And so one could say that the hit and run actually maybe helped here. I don't know. Would have worked out anyway. 2-5. That's a strikeout. And if you were watching it on TV, you'd say it worked out just fine. You wouldn't know the difference. Yannervis Solarte. They're going to be playing the infield back. They want to turn 2 here. 3-2. That's a ground ball to short B. The run is going to score. Solarte hoofs it down there and beats out the throw. So that's going to be, oh wait, did I say 6-4? Run comes in, and now it's 2-1. I don't know if Mets fans like that call of mine, but I guess you, that's why you play the game. Hi, Derek. Oh, yeah. Hi, Beatles. There you are. And Matt Kemp with 2 outs and a runner at first. Solarte doesn't run much, especially with Cologne's numbers. And it's a 3-7. 1-7 would be a single for Kemp. Be first and second if this is the case. It's a 2. And that is Cologne's weakness point. Runner in scoring position. And I think the Mets are going to have to, with Will Myers coming up, they're gonna go to the pen. So Cologne is gonna come out here. No, you know what? Cologne talked them out of it. He's gonna try to stay in here. Against Will Myers, 2 outs. He said, you know what, I'm okay, coach. I got this. So with first and second, 2 outs, Will Myers at the plate. It's a 5-3 against a righty. Fly ball to left. Cespedes a 2E7. All he needs is a low number and some nothing that's too nasty on the D6s. Now you get a 6 on the D6s. That's not so great. But let's run it through here. 2 range and 13. It's an F2. That's, he gets there. Now a 6 with an E7. Oh, and they get burned. But they would have gotten burned anyway, probably. two-base error. And F2, two-base error, runners advance 2 bases. They'll tie the ball game. Second two-base error against the Mets here in this game, correct? Oh, no, there was a two-base error against the Padres that the Mets did not benefit from. But this is an unearned run against Cologne. Little consolation to the Mets. And Derek Norris up second and third, 2 outs. .410 against a righty. Ballpark single. My goodness. 1-6. If this comes up, there's going to be a revolt. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, my. Run comes home. 3-2 Padres. The Padres have gotten almost every role that they've needed in these games. And are we going to stick with Cologne here? I mean, we haven't hit any of his magic numbers for the real bad stuff. And I feel like we're treading on thin ice here. We're going to the pen now. I'm not sure it would have changed anything. Would have been pitcher X. They might have gotten out of it with pitcher X. So I don't know. But you can't navigate the waters of Major League Baseball management based on looking at how things would have ended up being if they had gone the way you wanted them to. Because you'll just frustrate yourself. You'll find things that come up that shouldn't have, and things that shouldn't have come up did, and you'll think you did the wrong thing when it was like a very once in a lifetime kind of thing. But 5 2/3 for Bartolo. Man, I thought he was doing well, but all right, Weeks with 2 outs. Heck, with the way it's going, even Weeks would have gotten a hit off of Cologne. So let's see. 5-8. Let's see if that's true. Nah, he would have gotten a ground out. Or wait. Yes, fly ball to center. But Weeks, lefty, 5-8. Ground ball to second base. We got another roll. And they're holding Norris on, but since Weeks hit from the left side, we go with Walker's 3E11. And that is going to get the job done. I can all but guarantee it. 13 on the E11. Last out. If it could have been that easy for Bartolo, he'd still be in the game probably. But instead, his fielders are treating him bad. Poorly. I guess that's the English version. And it's 3-2 Mets, so... Or 3-2 Padres, what am I saying? And somehow, Colin Ray is in line for the victory after 6 innings pitched. We're going to the 7th, 3-2 Padres. Kevin Quackenbush is going to take the mound. And we'll see if the Mets can turn this baby around. Still lots of time. 9 outs. And Quackenbush's was a 392. Also, Fernando Rodney is unavailable for the Padres. So as far as they might have to go with Brandon Moore. Excuse me, Maurer. That's how you say his name. Brandon Maurer is their closer, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. He'll be good for a 1-inning save. Juan Lagares against Quackenbush. Against a righty, 4-2. Fly ball to right field. First out. Matt Kemp makes a play as Drupal Cabrera, 1 for 2. He has a home run and 2 runs batted in against a lefty, 5-7. Ground ball to second base. Jemile Weeks, 3E10, 12 and 11. He's going to make the play. Don't even need to look at that one. Travis d'Arnaud, another 4-2. Wow. Against a righty. That's another fly ball to right. And you can't say that I'm not shaking them up, because we got that in. We had rolls in between. So 7th inning stretch, 3-2 Padres. They're going to look to tack some on here. Addison Reed will come out for another inning. They will get. They're going to have Antonio Bastardo warming up. Alexei Ramirez going to lead off the bottom of the 7th. 5-7 against a right-hander. Strikes him out. Reed had a rough outing against the Padres earlier in the series, so looking to atone for that. They will go with Adam Rosales here. They're going to save Brett Wallace in case they need somebody with some pop later. So, not that Rosales doesn't have any pop, but Wallace has a little more. 1 out. 4-6 against a righty, and there is a potential double. Only for the Padres is it not just a potential double, it's an almost guaranteed double. might have jinxed Reed there. We'll see. John Jay. They are going to the pen. They're going to go to Antonio Bastardo. Reed went 2/3 of an inning. So runner at second with 1 out. John Jay against a lefty here. 5-2. Lefty. Ground ball to second base. The runner will move to third at the very least on the ground out. Second base is Neil Walker, 3E11. They're holding the runner on with a lefty, so Neil Walker still 3E11. 19 and 10, and that's going to be a good play. But I think that ends up being what's the equivalent of a ground ball C, and the runner moves up. Let's see. Runner at second, ground ball A, 6. If the first base or second base, batter out, runner advances. Yes. So 2 outs, and Melvin Upton Jr. Runner at third. 10 on the D20, so no hijinks from that. 1-11 against a lefty. That's a ground ball to short, and that will end the inning. So what looked like some potential problems end up working out for the Mets. At least they get through that. The Padres have to go back to their pen. They're going to get Ryan Buchter into the game here. He is a 6'12". Quackenbush goes 1. Going to face the Grandy man, and then pinch hitter, almost certainly, and then And then Matt Reynolds at the top of the order. So Granderson against Buchter. 210. Ballpark home run chance. Can Granderson get one to work out here? He needs a 1-5 to get a home run and tie this ball game up. Is it going to go? Nah, they can't get the 1-5 to save their life. That's going to be a fly ball to right field that is caught at the track by Kemp. So the Mets, they will go with Eric Campbell. They also have Plawecki. They could use him off the bench, but they're going to go with Campbell. Kane got tossed over. So did he get tossed over the strikeout call because he was at the plate or because he was pitching? That would be pretty stupid if he was mouthing at the ump from the mound, but it's happened before. So Eric Campbell with 1 out and a 4-10 against a right-hander, and he walks. Tying run on base. Here is Matt Reynolds. So they got some real depth guys going here for the Mets. And that's a 2-7, and that is going to be a double, and that's going to make second and third. Second and third with 1 out, and it's going to bring up Neil Walker. And the Mets are knocking on the door here. And let's see, there's no reason for them to really change their... maybe a little better against lefties than righties. They're going to stick with Buchter, though. Second and third, what they could do is walk Walker and try to get Flores to ground and double play, and that's what they're going to do. Oh, so he complained. Did he? So he complained coming off the mound, and then he got up to bat and he started mouthing off, or just was mouthing off from the dugout. Wilmer Flores, bases loaded, infield in. Top of the 8th, 3-2 Padres. 5-3 against a righty. Ground ball to the pitcher. He is a 2-0. This could help out the Padres here. 2-0. 2 and a 7. I don't know if that'll get the job done. Probably will get the run out at home since they're playing in. 2 and a 7. That's a G3. Let's see G3 with the infield in. Bases loaded. They get the leader only, but that's the second out. So 1-2, everybody moves up a bag, and it's a fielder's choice. And that brings up Cespedes. Some real pop here, going up against... Oh, I see. Against Buchter, Yoenis Cespedes, and the pitch. Bases loaded, 3-5, and he strikes him out, and that is the end of the top of the 8th. Mets can't get the job done against Buchter. Hi, Ken. So no runs for the Mets, and they are running out of time slowly but surely. And they're going to stick with Bastardo. Oh, wait, they can't. They brought in Campbell. Let's see. It's going to be Solarte, Kemp, and Myers. So righties. They're going to go with... They're going to go with Hansel Robles. Bastardo went 2/10 of an inning. Not 2/10, 2/3 of an inning. And it'll be Robles here to face the middle of the order. 3, 4, 5. So Solarte against Robles. Against the lefty 5-5, he strikes out for the first out. Matt Kemp. Another 5-5, and this time I really... against a righty, another strikeout. And I just got a text message about my kids going to bed. 1-9, and that's another strikeout. Robles strikes out the side. We're going to go to the top of the ninth. It's going to be Brandon Maurer. Face Lagares Cabrera. Wait. So who is Ange? Is that someone that just has started showing up on Earl's? I'm interested to hear now. So Maurer will go up against Lagares, Cabrera, d'Arnaud. Oh my! Oh yeah, yeah. That's fine. Fun stuff. So Lagares against Maurer. 3-5. Strikes him out. 1 out. Yeah, kind of used to that. I quit arguing with people on Facebook, and then for some reason the last week I decided to start mouthing off again, and it's probably not a wise idea. 5-6. Batting from the left side, that's another strikeout. 2 down, the Mets in danger, getting swept. All they have left is Deaza. Is that any better than d'Arnaud? I don't really think so. They're going to go with d'Arnaud here. 2 outs. Last chance. 4-5 against a righty. Ground ball to short. Ramirez, this is not a routine play, but a 20 and an 8, and I think he's going to get the job done. 22, E22 and an 8, and the ball game is over. Somehow the San Diego Padres have put together 3 wins in a row, and the Mets, maybe because the Mets have had some injuries, but rough series for them out on the West Coast. They look like they were gonna ride Bartolo Colon. They got him a lead, and he could not hold it. And that will be it for this game. I'm going to sign off now, as I've got to take care of some business. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry, Mets fans, that they couldn't muster any other runs. I'm not trying to have that happen to you guys, but if you could like and subscribe the videos here, we would love it. Really appreciate you all being a part of this. It's warm down here, as you can see, I'm a little red for the in the face. But 3-2 Padres. They get to 6-6. Mets drop to 6-6, so everything's kind of settling in the middle where you're going to expect a lot of these teams to be, because a lot of them are kind of like 500 teams or thereabouts. So have a good one. See you next time, and thanks for watching. Strat on.